Hey, welcome back to the channel. So this is actually found footage that I had on my camera. I guess when I was painting Kids at Play, this was my second set that I did with Garbage Pail Kids that year. Actually, it's my rookie year, it's 2023, but this was the second set I was working on, and I must have filmed and I was really excited, and I'm not gonna lie, when I found them on my camera today, I was stoked because I was like, yes, I can put these out there and I could see how I would work, and it was really cool and blah blah blah. Yeah, don't get your hopes up because unfortunately this is the only time you're going to see this card. I don't know what happened. I think my camera must have died a bunch of times, and I was kind of working where I was working all the flesh tones at the same time, and so I'd finish one and then I'd put it aside and blah blah blah. I guess I didn't realize that by the time I got to the later ones to finish, the camera was either dead or stopped recording for whatever reason. But there is a couple on here that I do finish. There's 2 panos that I finish. So it's something else actually you'll notice in the top right corner, the one we were just painting on is only done in pencil to start, and then this one is I flushed out with the pen. And this is actually when I stopped using liners underneath my paint. It really wasn't necessary. I could see just fine. I think I did it just to make my make it easier on myself so that I could see my lines better. But to be honest, like it gets painted over. It's just an extra step that I didn't need, so I stopped doing it. And now I line everything with a brush. So even though like I end up getting, like, actually these don't even get black lines. So for my first series, which was Intergalactic, I actually did outline everything in black because I like that look. But I wanted to try something a little different. So for Kids at Play, everything is outlined like in colors. I used colored outlines because I thought it looked cool. And honestly, I like them both. Sometimes I think the black is bolder and it really pops, but you know, other times I want a softer look, like especially if I'm doing something in a background. Maybe I want to push the background a little further back and push the character forward. So I'll add the black outline to the character, but maybe I leave the colored outlines in the backgrounds so that, you know, it just gets pushed back a little. Anyway, so again, you're not going to see much of this pano being finished because unfortunately, like I said, the camera died. But what's kind of neat is being able to see my process a couple times on how I do skin tone. And I don't know, if you're an artist and you're watching and you're like, oh, I'm not sure how to shade, maybe it'll help. I don't know. I mean, I just figured it's kind of cool to see what I did, even if I don't have finished, you know, products. I do have, at the end, I have slides in so you can see what they actually looked like when they were finished in case you've never seen them. But I just thought it'd be kind of cool for you to see how I kind of lay colors in. And obviously this is sped up, but it does go much faster working with paint. The amount of footage that I did have, even though it's not completed footage, was about 4 hours that I have scaled down into like 20 minutes. So hopefully you'll enjoy seeing what little footage I have of, you know, certain illustrations, but at least it's something. But I think now I can officially tell you, because it has been put out there into the world on GPK News, which is a really fun website that has lots of wonderful information if you're a big Garbage Pail Kids fan. But I can now tell you that unfortunately going forward, Garbage Pail Kids will no longer have panoramic or triptych or puzzle sketches inside, which is kind of a bummer for me because I really enjoy putting characters together that maybe wouldn't normally be together. As an illustrator, it's something I kind of thrive on. I like to like hide little details and things. So with that being said, I'm still going to be illustrating like my own little paintings that I do. If you just watched my new studio video, you might have seen I had one from Christmas I did back in 2023, where I took a bunch of Christmassy characters and put them together in an illustration. It's just fun for me. I just really like to do that stuff. So I'm going to continue to do those kinds of paintings. Obviously I can't put them into prints because it's against our contract. Maybe someday I can ask about it, but it's probably not going to be anytime soon. But I'm just going to do them for me. Maybe eventually I'll even sell the original paintings if someone's interested. But It's just really for fun. So with that being said, getting back to what we're actually seeing here is more skin tone prep. Basically, if you're interested, I create one color for my base skin tone, and then I add more white, and I start getting a little bit of more of a lighter skin tone, and then I go the other way and create a cup where I use the same base and I add a little more darker colors to make darker parts of the skin tone, because that way I have like three shading options basically, so I can add my light, my dark, and then I have my base color. So sometimes I'll lay down the entire base color first and then add highlight and low light afterward. Sometimes I start with the dark or like the low lighting, and then I'll go over and I'll add the base tone, and then I'll add highlight. So it just depends. I work differently every time, and I think it's just whatever I'm feeling in the moment. And this is one of the panoramics you're actually going to get to see finished. And this card actually makes me laugh because I hate glitter. I think glitter is literally like just gross. It gets everywhere. It's the worst art supplies ever. I think these two characters are originally from the is it Back to School Day? I forget what the Garbage Pail. I wasn't working on sketch cards for that. I just started in 2023. So my first set was Intergalactic. Then I did Kids at Play. I've done a couple online sets, Crashers, some Valentine sets, and the newest release, which was Kids Dressed to Grotesque. So that was really fun. But anyway, going back to this, I just thought it'd be really funny to put this character with all the glitter with this poor guy eating paste, because I just felt like it would be hilarious to see them together and him covered in her little glitter paste. Which, what's funny is later, I know I'm bouncing all around, when I actually add the, like, it's called Lapse. It's a special like gouache paint that has like shiny crystally stuff in it. I definitely had to use it for this because I thought, how perfect for the glitter would this be? And that's exactly what I did. And it actually makes it look even better to see it like in person. Unfortunately, I believe when I was filming, I took a picture with my phone, and I might have done like a boomerang, but I wasn't showing the camera. I don't know if I cut it out or not, because I literally edited like 4 hours of footage, and I was like, okay, I don't care. This looks good. It gets the point across. So it might be visible in here, it might not, but it is kind of neat to see how sparkly the glitter looks, and it was a fun little touch. And I hope the person who eventually found this pano, which I'm not even sure if it was found, but I hope if whoever finds it enjoys it. That's a whole other avenue too, is sometimes I get to see people who found my inserts and sometimes I don't. And you know what? It's okay either way. What bothers me is when I see them being flipped on like eBay, which I feel like my feelings are hurt because I'm like, oh, this person doesn't like my art enough to keep it. But then I have to think about it like this. No, they're buying a ton of things to flip, so it's not really about me. But whatever. So I'm going to make a note here about how I'm lining. I'm using a really, really small brush to do all the little outlines. And it actually looks like it could be black, but I know for a fact it's not. It's pretty dark though. I think I just used a darker brown because I still wanted to kind of keep the colored outlines, but it definitely looks black. But okay, so there's the lighter color. Maybe I started using black and forgot. No, I think it's just, what am I doing? I don't even know. I think it probably just looks darker on the screen because I do feel like I went through this set and I just did complete color outlines. Oh yeah, okay, so now it's kind of lightened up a little bit. Oh, here's that awesome glitter bomb that she's like kissing his way or blowing his way. I think it's hilarious. I really have fun with these. I really love having characters interact. And if you've been following my work, you've seen I've gotten even more, like, even on smaller cards. Like, I've started doing it because with commissions especially, I love making it really unique. And if I'm adding 2 characters, then it's even more unique than before. So I'm still going to be creative, and I'm still going to try to find ways to stand out because I always want my work to be different. And matter of fact, everything I put out there has my name on it. You know what I mean? And I always want to be proud of what I'm putting out there. So even with a short, we had a very, very short turnaround time for this. I honestly was like, I'm just going to go, excuse the expression, balls to the wall and really put it out there, because even though the deadline was short, my name goes on everything I do. And I always strive to get better too every time. So if I'm putting out work like this under a time constraint, for example, the next time maybe I would have done a really detailed background with the kids in the actual classroom. But, you know, again, time constraint. But also I think I was trying to get my footing too, where for the bigger ones like the puzzles, this is the, what I was talking about earlier, the Lapse. Oh, no, I guess I went back to outlining. I'll get back to the Lapse apparently. But with larger puzzle cards, like the loaded sketches, I always tried to really make it environmental. And if I'm having 4 kids, like in one thing, I really tried to make the environment as interesting. Oh yeah, okay, so this is the shiny Lapse paint that's basically just like sparkle paint. See, this is what I'm talking about. I started forgetting that there was a camera. So I was tilting it up, and you can kind of see it, but not really. I think I was doing it for myself to make sure it actually looked good, because I have a couple different types of this paint. Some of it's kind of diamondy, some of it's more opal-y. So I think I was trying to make sure I picked the right one. And here you can kind of see, oh yeah, I guess that was where I was taking the picture, and I didn't do anything with it. Sorry about that, guys. This is another where I started to do the background. I made it a little more simple because I wanted the characters to be the focal point. But I think you'll notice too, I don't think we see it again, but there was another trip that I did, and you'll see it at the end on the slide. With the football, I did try to add like the stadium in the background just to really give it the effect. Even though the stadium might have been a little less detailed, at least it gives the effect of, you know, what we're actually seeing, like if we were at like this game where this crazy guy was running on the field. This is another thing too. So this technique I'm doing, you can kind of see there's a bunch of different blues in the sky. This is a wet on wet texture where I blend together the colors when they're wet. Some of it's a little dry, like back here was a little dry. But, oh, okay. I left this in his whole shirt because I just loved how it looked when I was painting it. So this is another time when I was shading, and I did the dark first, and then I added a medium tone. And then what I'm going to do is I think I add highlight, and then I start putting the lines. Yeah, so I do the highlight, and then I'll put the lines in his shirt. And it looks so cool because you're trying to get those folds in there. Oh, I even went darker. Look at that. See, I don't even remember what I do half the time. But I left most of this painting in because the way his shirt comes out, I was so proud and so excited with how it looked that I just really wanted you guys to see the process because it was kind of cool. And I just really love the way that these stripes came out. I definitely tried to follow the form of his arm and his shoulder. And then just the idea of like the folds on the shirt, which is why I made them look a little wrinkled and kind of, you know, wonky, because the idea is he's playing and this shirt is wrinkled. So little nuanced details like that really help your work. But yeah, so look at this. I just love that it looks like it's folded in some area or like wrinkled, and I just love the way that it came out. I was really proud of this set. And considering it wasn't even my rookie set, like my rookie set I was super proud of. Like that was the one where I did so many cool things. Like I'm just really sad that they're not going to have these type of like larger cards anymore. It's such a bummer, but it's not going to ever stop me from doing, like I said, large illustrations. It's just one of those things where the idea that someone's opening a pack of Garbage Pail Kids and they're finding this piece that you labored over that you is like, it's love. It's a labor of love. It's really rewarding, unless it's a flipper, then I'm pissed off. But no, if someone opens it and they're really excited about it, it's such a rewarding feeling. And I see it, you know, so like there are a lot of people out there. There's one gentleman, I am totally going to give him a shout out, GPK Chris. I don't think he had ever heard of me. And then he found one of my Dressed to Grotesque sketch cards. And he just really liked my style and went on a quest to find as many of those as he could. I did 80 for that set. And I was really proud of those. I loved how they came out. They were a little, I don't want to say they were more simple, but they were more where I only had one character because it was an online set, so it was just like the regular base, kind of like not a base card, but like a standard card size. And they were just kind of zoomed in on some of the characters, and it was really fun. It was a very colorful set. He's collected like 10 as far as I know, and that's amazing to me. I'm flabbergasted. I had no idea that people would get that excited over my work. I mean, I get excited over my work, but I'm a big nerd, and like, I'm doing it. So if I'm not excited about it, no one else is going to be. But it was really a nice feeling, and I really want to thank him so much he even bought something off my store, and it's just really nice, and I appreciate how much he puts it out there that he's looking for my work and that he likes my work. It makes me feel really special. So if you're listening, which you're probably not, but that's fine. Thank you very much, GPK Chris. Oh, here, so I have a swatch book of all my wash colors, and this is me trying to find the best background color for this particular sketch. This is what I do. Sometimes if I'm not sure what color I'm going to use, and obviously there wasn't very detailed because I wanted to make sure that, I was keeping in the time frame. I just kind of look around on that swatch. I kind of put the things next to the swatches and see what's the best color that's going to make the characters pop. Because they're very saturated, I tried to go with a more muted color, which is why I went with the lighter purple. And then, of course, I have to add a little bit of kind of shading because that's what I do. And I like that, so. And then still, the origami guy, I don't remember his name, I apologize. He's going to get some more highlights before he gets his outline. And same with the fortune teller. I don't remember her name, but I think that's what they used to call those things when we were in school, the fortune tellers. They had the numbers on them. And so she gets a little more details. She gets her numbers. And I just thought these two would be hanging out together in a classroom and doing fun stuff during arts and crafts. I'll tell you, some of the designs that these amazing base card artists come up with, it's awesome. Like, I love being able to put my own take on things, but their art is what inspires me to do it because it's so good. Like, it's just so good. And, I really try. I don't know if you've noticed, if you've been following my work, I always try to do a different character. I hardly ever repeat characters. I think there's maybe Virus Iris because she's one of my favorites. Babbling Brook, I might have repeated because she's my favorite. And Melba Toast is also my favorite, so I might have done her a couple times as well in a couple sets. Like, every set I do, I try to do, every character is different, but I try to do characters I've never done before, just to make it interesting. Especially like if you're a fan of my work and you're looking for my work, what would you want to find, like two of the same character that are very similar? No. I mean, I can do different backgrounds, but I just think it's kind of cool. There's so many great cards out there that are just unrecognized, really, because either they're just kind of like lost in the shuffle of a big set, or I don't know. So I just want to highlight those. That's why I tend to pick cards that are a little more obscure, maybe. So, and here's me signing that card because it is finished. And unfortunately, I think I'm a dummy and didn't flip it back over, but I might have a piece of footage here. I don't, but I have the finals. These are the scans, so they're super crispy. Obviously, you didn't see the school classroom one and the collector one being finished, but I still love the way they came out. I think all of these, the colors really pop. Super fun time. I love working on these. Here is the trips I was working on, and obviously I added a couple more details. I like that the background in the lower one has less details because obviously you don't want to take it away from what's in front of you. But I'm really super happy with how they came out. I love the color scheme. Very pastel, but also fun and saturated. And unfortunately, we didn't really get to see much of these. I love the way the lower one came out. It was hilarious. And then the top one with the toys actually glowed in the dark. Glowworm's face had a really fun glow-in-the-dark paint on it, and I think so did the moon and the window. And honestly, if you've made it through this whole thing, thank you so much for listening to me ramble. I hope you enjoyed this video. I look forward to making many more in this coming year. And I guess I'll see you back at the drawing board. Take care, guys.